Council Rock. Today we will be going back in time to 2006 in Zimbabwe.
We enter a time of economic crisis and turmoil. Zimbabwe is experiencing what we call hyperinflation.
This is a real problem. As we've seen, it has done a lot of damage to the country.
This is very similar to what happened in Germany during the 1920s. Fortunately, Germany was saved by the US with the DOS plan. Today, Zimbabwe has no such luck.
From 1999 to 2009, the country experienced a sharp drop in food production and in all other sectors. The banking sector also collapsed, with farmers unable to obtain loans for capital development. Food output capacity fell 45%, manufacturing output 29% in 2005, 26% in 2006, and 28% in 2007, and unemployment rose to 80%.
The peak of the hyperinflation was in 2006, almost 80 billion%. The government was printing money like crazy. They tried to stop it by making it illegal to raise prices on goods, but this method was ineffective.
We thought that it was important to see if American citizens would know about the inflation. We have Brielle, our live correspondent, to interview people.
I am Brielle Goldberg, and I would like to ask you questions about Zimbabwe inflation. And if you don't know anything about it, it's fine, but do you know what Zimbabwe inflation, how it occurred?
No.
Okay, so I'll just let you know what happened. It's okay. So Zimbabwe inflation happened with the agriculture in Zimbabwe, and how they just they weren't really good with crops and all that kind of stuff. And then they couldn't export as much, so they had to import, and it cost more money. So then they had to create more money, and that caused the inflation of the dollar, and everything cost a lot more. So what is your opinion about that? Do you have an opinion of how they could have fixed that, changed that?
They maybe needed to. I feel like I'm on Jimmy Kimmel. It's just saying, but they needed to teach their farmers how to farm more efficiently, so they didn't have to bring it.
Yeah. Okay, well that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so we know that you're a history major. Would you like to share your beliefs, opinions about inflation in general?
Yes, I think inflation is totally out of control, and if you're making $100,000 a year, that's not a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And back when I went to school, I paid my tuition, my college tuition, by working in the summer. So I think inflation is totally out of control.
So Zimbabwe inflation is about the agriculture, they were failing in farming, and so they couldn't export as much, or they needed to pay more money to import, and they just kept printing money. What do you think they should have done instead of that?
I don't know. They'd have to find something else they could sell and advertise, and that's not easy.
Mm-hmm. Your opinion about in Zimbabwe there's inflation, and it's because of agricultural decline, and so they started printing more money to try to fix the problem, which was not a very good solution. Do you have an opinion about what they should have done?
They printed more money?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe increased interest rates?
Increased interest rates?
Yeah, and I don't know how Zimbabwe government works, but that's typically one of the things you do to control inflation in most countries like the US. Anytime you have inflation, if you increase interest rates, that makes money less available to people. People can't borrow as much because the interest rates are higher, and that usually kind of contains the cost. Now, I don't know if that works in an African country.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure. Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind. I mean, there might be other factors involved in a place like that. I just don't know too much about it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's all we need.
No problem.
Thanks, Brielle. As we can see, not many people would know about the situation in Zimbabwe, but there were a few that knew inflation.
In the end, Zimbabwe decided to adapt to foreign currencies. Today, through 2014, 80% of the Zimbabwe citizens use the US dollar.
Thanks for watching, CR.